Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Oklahoma Archery Podcast. It is Thursday, September 18th, and we've got the Steeley family with us today, Hattie, Shaylan, and Shannon. How are y'all doing?
Doing well, thank you.
So for everybody that lives under a rock, this is a big tournament weekend up north, and the Steeley family is up. Tell everybody where y'all are at and the tournament you're getting ready to shoot this weekend.
We're in Yankton, South Dakota, and we're about to shoot the outdoor target NFAA Nationals. And yeah, it's really fun.
This will be our third year up here for the NFAA Outdoor Nationals event. Last year we came up for they had the field the same week, so we came up for field and outdoor nationals. But this year it's just outdoor.
I think it's actually our fourth, isn't it?
Yeah, it is our fourth.
It's our fourth, actually,
Yeah.
because we came that year without Nolan whenever Claudel was sick.
Yeah, so it's our fourth year doing it.
So we've stayed here 3 times and we've been here. Yeah, this is our 4th time competing in it.
Well, there you go. I think I went up, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but it was the First Dakota Classic and then the outdoor nationals. Are they still doing the indoor portion of it, or is this all outdoors?
I think they're doing it this year too.
Yeah.
Okay.
They competed in it the first year we came, but they do not, at First Dakota, they do not have a bow hunter division for the girls. So the first year we were here, they just had to compete against the open girls, which they held their own, but that was, they just went ahead and decided this year not to do that. They're just doing the bow hunter freestyle NFAA outdoor nationals.
There you go. Representing the bow hunter freestyle class. I remember, and I'll probably date myself a little bit. When I was younger, the bow hunter freestyle class was by far the biggest class in the NFAA. And it seems like now everybody's kind of gone to the long bars and the lenses, and you don't see quite as many of the pin shooters. So it's still good seeing that division, have some good competition. And I know you have to go to bigger and bigger tournaments to, get some real competition to shoot against, because from everything y'all did this year, the local crowd really just wasn't challenging you a whole bunch.
I wouldn't say
it's fun, and I always go to these these jackpot events and everything, and it's like there's such a division between the freestyle and the bow hunter class. Like we go do the jackpots at Oakland, and it's like there's a line almost straight down the middle of the building where you got all your short bars people over here and all your long bar people over here, and I'd go get right in the middle of them. I want to talk deer hunting with everybody. I want to see my friends. So you try to do everything you can in the archery community to kind of cross that center aisle, but it's definitely tricky to do.
Yes.
So what is your favorite thing about going up to Yankton this time of year?
This time of year, the much cooler weather for me. I love it. It's so much better than at Oklahoma in the heat.
Me, probably a slight break from school. Honestly, we're homeschooled, so we still do some schooling, but we get to kind of say like, hey, we're on vacations, we're going to do a little less. So that's probably what I like about it.
So
there you go.
I like seeing the turkey and deer.
Yeah,
it's really nice. Like, especially where we're staying, we see wildlife all the time here, and driving back and forth from here to the NFAA headquarters where the shoot's at. We constantly, I don't know that there's a time that we drive out there that we don't see nice turkeys and deer, and especially the turkeys. That's not something we get to see all the time at home. So just this morning we ran into town, and I think I counted over 20 in 2 or 3 different groups that we've seen on the way in this morning.
That sounds like a good place to be then.
Long beards, a couple with 2 double beards. So yeah, it was nice.
It'll be good. One of them back behind me here is triple bearded. He's not running around anymore, but I was thinking that was like the second turkey I'd ever killed. My buddy said, "You've spoiled yourself for the rest of your hunting career on that one. You might never see another triple bearded bird." But I know they're running around out there.
We haven't. Shaylan did.
My third turkey, I got a triple beard using triple beard shotgun shell. So it was pretty. It had a lot of 3s in it.
There you go. So give everybody like a little bit of a rundown. Introduce yourselves. Tell them where you're from. Tell them what organizations y'all do a lot of your shooting in, because it seems like y'all kind of hit a little bit of everything here locally.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm Shannon Steeley. I'm 17, and we're all from Stillwell, Oklahoma, the northeast corner. It's about, 10, 15 miles from the Arkansas line. And I've been shooting competitively since I was about 6 years old, and mainly started off with ASAs and a few pop-ups every now and then. They kind of went out around us. But, yeah, I've mainly been shooting ASAs, Oklahoma level and national level. And then NFAAs, I started in 2022, going to national level NFAA events, and then OSAA. That's like the Oklahoma version of NFAA. I've been doing since 2017, I believe. But that's the main. Never done a USA Archer event yet, so waiting for that one.
I'm about the same, from still Oklahoma. We live together, so from the same place. And I'm 15 years old, and I've been competitively shooting since I was probably about 6 years old, mostly ASAs. And I've done OSA and NFAA, and done it pretty much all my life.
There you go.
And then I'm a mom, and I'm 40 plus. We'll say that. No, I don't have to give my exact age. Let's see. I started shooting a bow when I was a kid with my grandfather because he built traditional bows, and so that's how I was into archery. Never ever thought about competing at all. And then I went to getting my husband into archery, and Nolan's like, we need to find a competition. So what are you talking about? I don't compete, I hunt. And so he done some looking up and found some competitions, and the rest is history. I got hooked.
It is a pretty good way to keep the schedule full, keep everybody,
Yes. But what other sport out there can you do? Like, she was shooting a bow at the age of 3 when she started. What other sport can you do as a family at the age of 3? And then we even take my mom, who can sometimes be very difficult getting around. But I mean, I think at Vegas, they said the spread was
There was one over
like from
100.
6 to 100 plus or something one year. I mean, It was amazing. But I just think that's one of the great benefits of archery is it's literally anybody can do it if they want to.
That's one of the best benefits of it. Not just different ages, but different physical levels too. I mean, I know it's a sport for athletes, but you've seen a lot of para archers, Paralympians, everything like that. So it is an incredibly accessible sport that not only you can do, but you can get your friends into it. And like my fishing buddy, God bless him, he's like, are we just never going to go fish on a Saturday again ever? And I was like, I mean, I'm probably free Thanksgiving and Christmas, but if I don't have my target deer killed, I'll probably be in the woods. So, yeah, man, maybe my birthday or your birthday, that's probably your only bet, and I don't have time. It's like all your weekends are gone, but you can take somebody totally new to it and get them, like, they might shoot in the backyard, or they might deer hunt. They can be pretty competitive in tournament archery within a couple of years, no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, not me personally, but I've seen other people do that. Me, I just kind of get worse every year. It's like, I think I peaked around like 12.
Yeah, but there have been a lot of ladies that I've shot with that you get to visit, and they're like, "Oh, I started shooting a bow a few months ago, or last year, or something like that." So you're right. It definitely, you can. In archery is a sport that you can tend to fast track. Maybe more so progress at a faster rate than other sports, possibly. And also there's some people that just never really find that niche, but they are happy doing it and they enjoy it as just a backyard. It offers a lot. You don't have to be competitive to enjoy archery.
Yeah. That's what I tell a lot of people are scared to come to a tournament. Like, I'm not ready. I'm not that good. It's like, well, come hang out with a bunch of people that are, they want to help you. And it's not like they're going to be, everybody fears that person that's like, you're doing it wrong, and they're going to get talked down to. It's like, hey, that was good. Let's maybe work on the way your feet are positioned, or let's change the way you put your arm in the bow. Let's change your grip a little bit, or let's work on your execution. And there's so many little things that cost $0 that you can change form wise or mentality wise with people that I think it's our duty to, as you know, ambassadors of the sport, to, you know, reach out to those people and be like, hey, you're doing great. No criticism whatsoever, but maybe think about like doing this one thing a little bit differently. And it might be the biggest difference in the world to them. Like, hey, do you close both your eyes before you punch the trigger? Let's work on not doing that again. Like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like, yeah. It works a little better that way. So what is the biggest advice you can give to some of the ladies out there that might be intimidated or might not be familiar with tournament archery? What are some of the benefits that you could tell them, as far as why would they want to spend a Saturday or a Sunday hanging out with a bunch of, you know, rednecks on the side of a mountain?
You've been in the sport longer.
You've taught classes to women in the outdoors, so I think you should answer that question.
First of all, I think competing against others is not where it's at. Yes, it's great to win. It's great to beat people like others, you know, that type of thing. Not beat them up, but to beat other people's scores. But more than anything, you've got to better yourself, first of all. So we all have different goals. And if I can hang with them, then I'm doing great. But it's something that you got to have realistic expectations and kind of what you're wanting out of it. I know there are some ladies that I've shot with that they have never broke, let's say like on a 200. They've changed so much over the years, but let's say a base 200 score in Oklahoma, whenever I was going to a lot of Oklahoma 3D ASAs. They never broke 160 or 180, you know, so that was their goal. And I think that's great. And I love seeing their success and their joy of, you know, hitting that goal, or no fives or no misses or whatever it is. But then as you progress, your goals change. And then if you don't shoot clean, you've got some work to do. Or if you don't shoot 20 some up, you've got some work to do, or something along those lines. But I just think having personal, realistic goals and always seeking to improve. And for me, I wanted to get better for hunting. That's the reason I started 3D shooting, was I thought it would help with the nerves and the shot placements and different animals. And just that's kind of why I got into the 3D to start with, was to improve my hunting game. And then it took me down a whole nother trail.
You didn't realize that it would get to a point where it's like, man, I really hope tournament season will die down so I can get some time to go hunting. Like,
yeah, sometimes we have to choose, and there's not like at work for me, they say, well, when does archery season end? It really doesn't. It just rolls from one discipline into another. And I mean, even hunting season for us is archery season, because that's mainly, she still hunts with the rifle, but she doesn't have to be patient.
I'm not patient enough to wait for a bow. I like to reach out and get it.
But yeah, I just love that it's literally all the time. If you want to shoot, there's somewhere to go, or backyard is always open. That's a great, if you live out in the country, but in town, you got to find those places that you can go to.
And to add on top of that, for me, like shooting or going to so many competitions this year and meeting different ladies, you get I shot women's pins 30, even though I'm 17, but I got to meet a wide variety of different people, and but for the good. I see my sister laughing over there. She tends to take things out of context. But you get to meet 40-year-old women, 50-year-old women, and I shot with a girl from Texas that was 15 or 16. So, the variation, and they all have different stories to tell. So, it's a non-ending story time for a whole day while you're shooting. I think it's amazing. It's a blast. It's awesome. Yeah. And you get more women into the sport because, hunting and stuff, in general, it's typically a male-dominated sport. And I think if I can reach out or get people or women thinking about doing archery, bow hunting archery style, I think that's a win. If I win or lose competition, if I get somebody else interested in it, that's a win for me.
Yeah. And I really enjoy beginning archers. I do, like, as far as she was mentioning teaching the classes and stuff, that's where my heart and my passion is, putting a bow in somebody's hand for the first time, or I tried it back at Girl Scouts, or I tried it at 4-H camp, and I can't shoot a bow. for whatever reason. Well, just give me a chance, let me try. And if I get that opportunity to put a bow in somebody's hand and for them to have that joy, that's where my heart's at.
She's an amazing coach.
It is one of the most rewarding things to take somebody that's brand new to the sport and watch them hit that first bullseye, or when they're starting to, smack 2 or 3 arrows together downrange. It's like, it's just repeatable. And like you're watching them problem solve in real time. Like I always tell people that archery is kind of a puzzle that your brain just like constantly tries to figure out, how do I do this the same? How do I do that the same? Oh, that one's low. I dropped my arm, that kind of thing. So you're watching them put it together in real time, and they're kind of looking at you like, okay, what do I do next? It's like, oh, you did it. Once you touch 2 arrows at 20 yards, there's really nothing more I can teach you. It's just repeat it and stretch out the distance a little bit. Like it's very rewarding to share our sport with people. And I think the biggest thing going for it is it's so cool. Like we shoot a lot at H&H, and it's primarily a gun range, and you get all kinds of people walk over there and like, oh, look at that bow that guy's shooting. That's so cool. It's got all those, lenses and stabilizers and mechanical release and all that stuff, where back in the day, we would all just shoot, recurve with a finger tab, and none of our arrows matched. Like if you had 2 or 3 that were the same spine, that was a pretty good day for shooting at a hay bale in the backyard. So I think the sport has come a long way, but it still maintains that really easy to access to newcomers. And I think that's one of the biggest, I don't want to say chores, obligations that, ambassadors of the sport have to, keep it coming around, because it's there's just not enough people that shoot. I mean, back in the day, you could go to a big tournament and have 50 to 100 people in any given class. And now we're lucky to have 20, maybe 25. So, trying to get those numbers back to where they were, I don't want to say in the good old days, but it's definitely,
but yeah,
it's a constant struggle. What about indoor season? Do you all shoot a lot of indoor, or is it mostly outdoor and then hunting season?
We haven't done as much this past year with indoors, but we in the past have done quite a bit in indoors, and I've gotten to where I've only been able to go to one of them, but I really like the indoor 3D, so we're hoping to go to that again this year. They're having it down in Texas, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about the same thing. Indoor season, we live in the middle of nowhere, so it's so cold in January. I hate the cold, and so I don't do a whole lot during the indoor season other than hunting, because our hay barn that would get us the most out of the bitter cold wind is only 18 yards with the target and us shooting, so we don't get the full 20-yard experience. But we have done some indoor. We'll used to do Wagner archery. We done their league nights and such, and we went to NFAA Indoor Nationals. I went twice, and I think you went once.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we've dabbled in indoor, but we haven't focused on it like we have 3D and outdoor target.
Yeah. We've mostly stayed within state on that. We've only been out to nationals, like Shannon said, twice for her and once for me. So
yeah, they do the OSAA indoor 5-spot shoot, and that kind of rotates around at the different archery ranges there in Oklahoma as far as the location of it. But like she said, Wagner and Tulsa are about the 2 locations that we went to more than just going to the state indoor shoot.
They're both at least an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
For us.
We do need more indoor ranges. It's hard, but I know everybody shoots it in the winter. I like indoor in the middle of the summer when it's 105 degrees outside. That's usually when I'm like, okay, I don't care if it's 20 yards. I don't care if it's just paper targets. Like, let's go beat the heat. But I know it's the middle of 3D season. That's kind of when everybody's, gearing up for state championships and Coleman and everything like that.
We do our own little family indoor and outdoor series shoots though. So that's kind of been our indoor season. Our big competition is shooting against each other. Nolan has designed a bracket style in different disciplines, and we shoot and score. And I'm telling you what, the nerves shooting against the three of them. Sometimes it's amazing just shooting against your family. And we got a buckle on the line, and we take this serious. We pick out our buckles, we order them, we ante up. We all each pay part of the buckle fee.
Like entry fee.
Yeah, and we shoot for money sometimes at the different individual events. But we'll do a Vegas style shoot. We'll do a 5 spots, and then a dare. And then he combined the Lancaster style of shooting, and we shoot up that way for the win.
It'll be fun. Just a little way to increase the pressure, shooting under, not necessarily for big money, but
bragging rights.
It's mainly bragging rights of winning the buckle.
Last year, and then getting to show it off. That's really the main thing.
Yeah. I'm sad to say I'm the only one that has not won yet. And last year, my mom got down to a shoot down or a shoot off. We were tied, and anyways, she ended up. The pressure got to me, and I punched, or not really punched. I pulled off my bow. Anyways, she ended up winning. So yeah, she never. Anytime she wears a buckle, she always brags about it.
I had it with me. It's on the truck. I could have had it up here for display behind. Yeah.
How many years have you all done this?
Well, we've tried to do it for 3, but because of activities and my work schedule and stuff, 1 year, just life in general. And because it's so easy to reschedule our stuff, that it kind of just kept getting pushed back. So we've done it for 3 years, but we actually are almost a year behind getting it completed. So we had the buckles ordered and just sitting there for a while waiting to get it finished. This will be our 3rd year doing it.
That's fantastic. I appreciate the families that come out, especially to the ASA, because you get all the questions from people, where's the range? How do I get there? What's the start time? And you got to take them one at a time. But every once in a while, it's like, oh, I'm going to bring my wife and my 3 kids and we're all going to shoot. It's like, okay, all right. Now we're moving the needle. Now we're getting somewhere. So I appreciate the people, because that's what I grew up doing with my mom and my dad. It was all 3 of us shot together. I think mom set the state record when she was pregnant with me. And from the time I was a little guy all the way till probably 14 or 15 years old, we'd all go to Wagner, go to Tulsa Archery Association. We hit some of the outdoor stuff down at Trosper, like the state field and the state Target and everything like that. So we didn't really go to many big national ones because I had baseball and football and all the different organizations there. So, it is hard to fit it all in schedule wise, but now that I'm grown and my football career didn't pan out like I thought it would, it's pretty much archery every weekend. So I know Dave's favorite question to ask is, tell us what your equipment setup is. What kind of bows do you shoot?
Shannon, you can start.
I think I'm probably the most complex. I have different companies, bow companies I shoot more so than them, but the main one I'm shooting right now is a Darton Exodus Pro, and I'm loving shooting that. I got it earlier this year around May, I believe, and shot it for the remainder of the 2025 ASA National Series, and ended up winning the Shooter of the Year with that bow. And previous to that,
and the classic,
yes. Sorry. Previous to that, I was shooting a Darton Mentor E. And prior to that, I shot I still have it. It's like backup bow now. It's a PSC Centrix SD. Kind of sadly discontinued it, but I'm enjoying shooting my Darton right now. And prior to that, I shot a Diamond and a Bowtech and Bear. So I haven't shot Hoyt or Matthews yet. I think most of the other ones I've got covered.
covered.
And I shoot a Moxie too. I forgot about that one. I shoot a Moxie as well, like them. They finally convinced me to get one. And but for sights, I've always ran a black gold. I could not tell you specifically which kind. It's whatever my dad said, hey, this is what will work best for you. So I cannot tell you which.
You've got a variety.
We got a variety of
Yes.
black gold. For rest, I shoot Hampski. Arrows, I shoot Victory. And then, let's see, stabilizers are Conquest. Releases Stan Links. I got that one about a year and a half ago now, I believe, and I'm loving it. I was having troubles punching even a back tension, but once I got this one, it's haven't had problems with it. And hopefully that continues. Trying to think.
Thank you, Kevin.
I think that's about it.
Did she miss anything on equipment?
Thread strings.
Threads. Yeah.
Been liking those. Used them for several years.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, me too.
Okay, I started with a Genesis bow whenever I was about 3, and then I got a PSC bow that I do not remember what it was.
Mini burner.
Mini burner?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Purple.
I know it was purple and it had sparkles. That's about all I remember. And then I had a Bowtech, a diamond Bowtech, and then I don't know what I moved to after that. I think I moved right into Moxie's, and I've had Angel, Anagen, and a
Hilo now.
Hilo now, yes. So right now I have the 2 of my Anagens and a Hilo set up, and I'm currently shooting them, and 2 of which I brought this weekend. But that's pretty much all. I've mostly, for the past couple of years, been shooting Moxie bows, and I really like them, especially the Anagens. I really like them. The Hilo's good, and the Angel is good for hunting. But I use same kinds of strings, threads, and Conquest on my stabilizers. I have a B3 release that I'm really liking, and I play music, and so the color, I have my cabo that matches my release, and my release, chameleon color. I love having things matching. And then what else is there? My sight, I shoot a black gold, and
everything else is the same.
Yeah, everything else is the same as my sister.
And then I have variety of different Moxie bows, and I also run thread strings on them. We shoot black gold sights, and like Shannon said, we have different customized sights from them. So some are dovetail, some are just attach straight on the riser. But then victory arrows we all shoot, and depending on the discipline that we're doing at the time, what type of victory arrows. I did have to change up because ASA was allowing 25s for women, right, for the class we were in, for women's pins 30 and pins 40, and then they changed it to 23s, so all those went to the side, and we got 23s in now. And then as far as releases go, she has a problem. I might have an issue. So, hi, my name is Hattie. I have a release issue. But I love trying out different releases. And some ladies have an issue with collecting purses and shoes and boots and all that stuff. No, my issue is with releases. And no, none of them are for sale. But if you want to try one, I probably have it. It's really sad, honestly. I have no idea how many different releases I have. And what I like shooting the most right now, you cannot even buy. I can't even think of the actual name of it because we've called it the obsolete for so long. That's all I call it now.
It's by Conquest.
Conquest bought them out. It was Bernie's is who owned the company, and it's a hook. It's out in the bow case. I don't know. But anyways, you can't buy them anymore, but I love it. It's a resistance style, kind of. There's no moving parts on it at all. You just hook and get into your shot and wrap on around, and it goes off. I love it.
That's the way to do it. On your pin setup, are you shooting? Would you say it's mostly 19 diameter? Are you 10, 15? Does it change based on the style?
Size, yes. We actually just reordered sights and we kind of changed it up a little bit.
Mostly
for the pin setup, like for 3D though, everything is the 19, right?
Yeah, 19.
I think we have all 19.
And then whatever for my target sights, and I have a 10
on the bottom two.
On the bottom two, on one of them I have just the bottom one as a 10, and then on my other side I have the bottom 2 as a 10. For the farther distances, I find that a little bit easier.
That way you can see more of the ring or the target the further back you go,
It doesn't cover up as much.
it doesn't cover up as much.
Now, one thing we do that we kind of done it as a trial run, and we liked it, and then we all kind of started. So now it's hard to find one of our sites that has a yellow, orange colored pin.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is when we order our black gold sites, we set them up green, red, green, red, green, and just keep alternating it all the way, however, whatever you want to start with, what you want to stop with. But we do not use orange and yellow pins. Just found that it was harder to see. We were struggling with it.
For
we tried it out.
Different disciplines, because
Yeah.
like for hunting, we do deer hunting, and that's a yellowish color, so it doesn't stand out for me as well against the hide. And then on targets, it's yellow center, which is what you are aiming at, and it was harder for us to see or find the difference of, all right, is this in the sure enough center, or is it too far to the right, too far to the left, and such.
We just kind of done this trial run, and we liked it. So that's pretty much how we all order them now.
I ended up doing something pretty similar on my hunting bow. I did my top 3 pins were 19 and my bottom was a 10. Mm-hmm. I really wish I would have made like the bottom 2 or 3 an 010 diameter, because I'm noticing at 40 yards, it's sure that 19 just covers up a lot of the target. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I could scoot it out farther, but then I know my pin gaps are going to get wider, and I kind of like them a little bit closer so I don't have to judge or rangefinder it quite so often. Like, that deer takes a couple steps between 42 and 44. I don't want to have to click it again. So I like to cram them in as close as I can get them to one another, but not so much that it's just a blob that I can't see through. So I'm thinking about changing it to where just my 20-yard pin is a 19, and then I'm going, 010. Yeah, 010s all the way down to the bottom. So it's definitely something that you have to kind of tinker with to find out what works the best for your setup, your speed, and your eyesight. So I know that's a big
for sure. None of us have the same eyesight, so it's always different for all of us.
I also know some people for target archery, they don't, like I was talking to them about the different pin sizes, and they like the bigger pin size because it'll cover up. For the reason I don't like it, they like it because it'll cover up where they're aiming. And so they know, all right, if I can't see any of the red circle, let's say, so the 8 ring, they know they're good. So, but that's like you said,
it's almost using it like a scope sticker, but a large pin.
So like it depends on what your preference is.
When you're shooting ASA specifically, is it something that you're wanting to cover it up, or you're wanting to be able to look over the top? Like, how does it work when because pin gapping is something everybody goes straight to the slider sites now. They want that $600 fancy apparatus, and everybody pulls their bow hunting bow setup out, August, September, whenever they get back around to it. And it's like, how do I shoot 43 yards? It's like, well, you gap it on the high side, or you gap it on the low side, or you just pick a pin and aim high or low. And that's something that you really have to spend time with that setup to be able to do comfortably. And I'm almost worried that it's becoming a lost and forgotten art. So I always want to hear from people that actually shoot that division. What is the best strategy on those weird numbered distance targets?
So I feel like Mom does a bit more of like the gapping and splitting the pins is what I call it. Me, I am not so good at that. So I figure out on the distances, and I typically have like a little card that I write things down on. And once I've shot that bow for several weeks, then I can memorize it. But for a little bit, I have a cheat sheet that tells me what I do at each yardage. But I aim high or aim low and figure out on the different targets, like around about the place where both of them needs to be. And so it's kind of like splitting the pins, but I'm mostly looking at the top and bottom ones, and putting them high and low, because I am not good at gapping. I always mess up on left and right. I don't know why, but I always go one way or the other. And Mom, she's great at that. It's very much so you have to play around with it and see what works for you.
Similar to Shaylan, this season, on my off distance, or where my pin did not hit exactly on, or if it wasn't half-inch high or half-inch low, because I don't like aiming right for the 12s. It makes me a nervous wreck whenever I'm at pro-ams or just 3D competitions in general. So I like aiming either below at the 10-12 connector. So like if this is the upper 12, this is the lower 12, I'll aim in between them. And that way it's always like playing it safe. So I like it whenever I'm hitting that half-inch high or half-inch low with the pin. That's what I consider on, is because I'll aim at the connector and I'll hit in the middle. Should be. But, I don't aim outside of the 10 ever. So I'll just adjust. You have to memorize your pins. You have to know your setup well with bow hunter freestyle or pin shooting. And I'll just aim low or high going off of what I shoot on a line. That's how I memorize, is I'll shoot out a bag on a piece of tape or hay string, and I'll know, okay, 23, I shoot inch high, or I'll shoot a 3/4 inch low, and then I'll put that with a certain pin, like, okay, from the center, the IBO ring, I'll aim here, or you just find different points. You just get to know your setup, because you can't go off of each target. I mean, there's so many, unless you're rich, you don't own the whole range that you'll see at an ASA event. So you just memorize, like, if I aim here, it'll go that high or go that much low. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's how I do it.
And they're right. I love pin gapping, or the splitting the pins. I don't know why, but I really have no idea why, but I do like that. So I will usually, like what they said, you got to know your setup. I will practice on a line. We never sight in and practice at dots. We put a black bag over the target and put hay string twisted across the target to aim at, or we'll put tape on a target or whatever, but we hardly ever shoot at dots until we're like sighted in and practicing that way. But for when we're preparing for 3D, we always shoot at the line, because we want to know exactly. I'm hardly ever going to be hitting on the tape. I want a perfect line across above the tape, or I want a line below the tape. And that means that I'm shooting consistent. And then I memorize, like what Shaylan said, I write down every single yardage and half yardage at how far high and low I'm hitting. And that's kind of where I base it off of. And then I start working on my split. Like, okay, this is supposed to hit high. It's supposed to hit low here. So I'm going to think that if I put my pin above and my pin below, it's going to hit right there. And then you figure out which ones work. And it's just a lot of time spent shooting and being comfortable, and it more or less just becoming second nature, that whenever you get this yardage, this is how it's going to happen. But you got to do it enough that you're confident in it, because being confident in your shot and where it's supposed to hit is a big part of it. Because if you have a bag shot, you don't want to be second guessing everything. It was something you didn't do your process right, something happened, but stick to your game plan. And I hardly ever shoot when I'm shooting pins 30 or pins 40. I agree. I don't aim at the 12 very, very often. I connector every now and then, but I like playing the high-low game. I know what my bow does, and I pretty much just shoot on the side of the IBO that I want. If I'm hitting upper, I hit on one side. If I'm hitting lower, and I just play the high-low game the entire shoot, and I just catch them that way.
That's how my eyes are. I can usually see the 10 ring pretty good. Very rarely can I actually see the 12, even with magnification and a clarifier. So I'm aiming one corner or the other of that 10 ring. Usually hopefully more towards the safe side, but you're gonna bang out a few 8s every once in a while. It's part of the game of strategy. My biggest challenge with pins is when I'm gapping in between them, like if I have a 30-yard and a 40-yard pin and I'm shooting a target at dead even 35 yards, I can gap them fine, but what I get is a lot of very weird left and rights where I can tell that I'm wanting to get that bow out of the way so I can see, it's like, just let it go off, trust your shot. Your left and rights are going to be fine if you just let the bow do its job. But I'm so worried about the up and down that I'm throwing left and rights trying to see that arrow. And it's a hard habit to break.
Get you a black target, all black arrows, and shoot into the dark.
And then 3D people will hate you.
Yes, but it worked for me.
I've already got the black arrows, the black knocks, and everything else. Not because I don't want them to see where my arrow lands. Usually it's not somewhere that you'd want to follow, but I was having trouble getting my vanes to stick, so I was actually priming them with Odie's purple PVC primer, and black was the only color of vane that didn't get stained when I did that, so ended up shooting black vanes all year. And it worked out okay. It wasn't a banner year for me or anything, but I didn't lose any vanes halfway down between my bow and the target, so we're going to call that a win.
Success.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody likes to make that. Oh, look at the state director shooting blacked out arrows, and everybody's always heard what they think about that guy who's shooting, the all blacked out setup. So yeah, it's 100%.
I never thought about doing it to be mean to others. Kind of like you said, sometimes they may not want to be aiming at my arrow, but I did understand what they were saying. But the first shoot I went to after I was having I called it the peekaboo issue. And so Nolan, just when we got home, I was telling him what I was struggling with, what I was feeling inside. And as I was shooting, I was wanting to see it so fast, so bad. So he just went home and stripped all the vanes off and blacked them out. And we set a black bore out down there in the shade in the dark. And that's all I shot at for, sorry. You got it? And that's all I shot at for a while.
It's something that will help you mentally not look around your bow. So it forces you to shoot through the pin. It forces you to follow through the shot because you can't see it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I don't shoot on my hunting setup. I don't shoot luminox. I know everybody in the deer woods has those glowing nocks. They want to see where that thing runs off. And I'm like, the last thing I need to see is some flashing red or blue or green thing flying through the air while I'm trying to look at one single hair on that deer that may or may not be moving at this point. Like I know where I need to look. I don't need any flashing lights in between me and 20 yards to the corn feeder to distract me anymore. So
They really look cool on film though.
It does. I know. And sometimes it helps you find your arrow a little quicker if it's buried up under the dirt or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just call it stubbornness, I guess.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest change that you've seen in the past, 5 or 10 years on the ASA? I mean, I know it's a constantly growing and evolving organization. I know it's something that
poundage level went down.
Okay. No. It's kind of a lot.
Since you started till now.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say probably the environment has gotten better. I don't know how to put that correctly. It's been more friendlier. I think it's gotten. Maybe I'm just seeing that as an older person. I know I'm not that old. Not that old, but as a kid, I feel like the older people, women and men both, were kind of putting me down or something. It's like, why are you here? You're kind of just taking up space. But let the big kids do what they want to do. But I think it's gotten more kid friendly and better. That's just my thoughts.
So I this past year kind of took a bit of a break, and really this is the only change, the bigger change, and it's not even a big change. But people always used to would say, whenever they'd say upper, say got it or heard you or something just casual. Everybody says heard now, and I just find that so odd because I was only gone for a year. It seems like within 1 year, everybody started saying the same thing that was different. I was like, what? So that was weird. But that's really the only change that I've really noticed. And it's not even a big change. It was just, I was like, huh? This is different. So that's really the only
She didn't
thing.
go to several qualifiers or very many archery events with me. But when we went to, I believe it was Kansas, we shot in the same group. And I would do I don't think it's that big of a deal, but say heard whenever somebody called upper. And she would give me the strangest look like, what are you saying now?
It was just different.
You just created so much problems with one word.
It was just different. I was used to it. And so that's really the only bigger change. So that ain't a big change.
So for me, it was the poundage, and only being 25-inch draw length, 25 and a half, you got to get the poundage up in order to get the speed up. And so several years ago, whenever I was traveling, gosh, I don't know, I'll just keep talking. He'll come back eventually, maybe.
I'm here.
You're here? Okay. I was traveling to the programs and the several shoots. I had worked really hard at shooting my bow a lot, not necessarily lifting weights, but shooting my bow a lot to get my poundage up. And so I was finally knocking on that 280 door and with my setup, and then they lowered it to you can only shoot 260 feet per second now. So now my 63-pound bow that I worked so hard to shoot comfortably is really no use to me now. But that's okay.
You just load it up with a little more point weight and hope to minimize the glance outs.
Yeah, it's okay. As I get older, I need less pounds anyways. Probably I don't shoot as much as I used to. So but that's the one change that I was like, what? I was ready to start going to some more with them. And I was like, well, had to change it up a bit, but that's okay.
Constantly evolving setup. So what it is. It's like, it was almost dialed in. And then I had some early on in the year, I had some 23s with like, I think a $120 in the nose of them. The bow loved them. The wind did not love them. So it was like, if I was just shooting 23s for indoor and there was like no breeze ever, I have the speed. I thought they were very forgiving. The glance outs were not very forgiving, but the wind was real. I mean, I was getting 5 and 6 inches of wind drift every time I'd break a surprise shot. You muscle up and punch one, it's going to go right behind the pin, but that's just not how I try to shoot my bow very often. So had to put another 20 or 30 grains in the nose and start all over. And it's like we're halfway through the season and I'm just now figuring out, okay, my arrows aren't going to work for me. Great. Let's back to the drawing board.
We go back to the drawing board a lot sometimes. I mean, just strip the bow down and start over. And sometimes it works, comes out. Sometimes just changing up a little bit, not being the exact right length or different things.
I tell people it's like baking chocolate chip cookies. It's the same 6 ingredients: water, flour, salt, chocolate chips, whatever, a little bit of baking soda. But they all come out different every time you set a bow up. Like, no, you can't set 2 of them up to be exactly the same. They can be close, but they're all going to turn out just a little bit differently. And it's like, I'm so scared to mess with the one that I'm shooting now that I'm really liking that, like, well, I don't really want to tear it down for indoor. I think I might just shoot my 23s all year and roll it into next year's 3D season. So you never know how that's going to turn out. Like, you get a good one and you just don't want to rock the boat too much. So I think the biggest question is, what class are you going to shoot next year?
I'll be probably shooting women's hunter or women's pins.
Women's
30.
30. I guess that's
another change. Yeah.
As I keep calling it women's hunter and
so I will probably be shooting women's pins 30 for me next year in ASA.
I have not decided yet. I think women's pins 40. I think that's what I'm going to go with because I won out of women's pins 30 on I think every level. Yeah.
Yeah. So you cleaned up. Tell everybody what your July was. You had a busy July.
July?
Yeah.
I don't think I was at home for more than one day without being somewhere. I was doing 3 sports in the month of July. 4. I had basketball, archery, softball, and volleyball. And then archery, I had every weekend I had an archery shoot. And I calculated it within 4 weekends. I was in 6 different states at 5 different shoots, I think, or 4 different shoots, something like that.
What state shoots did you go to?
I went to Missouri State, Kansas State, Texas State, Oklahoma State. Nope, I said that wrong.
Arkansas,
Missouri, Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else I said, but I said the wrong state or something. And then I went to Coleman, Alabama for the Classic in the end of July.
How'd you do at all those?
I was blessed to win at all of those events, and I finished up shooter of the year for the ASA, National ASA, and Oklahoma State as well. The going into the shooter of the year for national level was a little nerve-wracking.
Froze up just a little bit there. Can you still hear me? Well, we'll edit around those. So while we're waiting on them to get back, I think she went to Kansas and Arkansas the weekend after 4th of July, won those. Oklahoma the third weekend of July, won that one. Missouri and Texas the final week of July, won both of those. And then to Coleman, Alabama. So that was a fantastic finish to a long season of ASA. And it looks like they have exited the chat room. So we'll hang on just a second and see if we can get them back. I know they said that they didn't have very good internet service up there in Yankton, South Dakota, waiting on them. So we'll give them just a quick second, see if they're getting ready to come back. Other news while we're killing time, I got an email today from our ASA buckle maker, Rowdy Silver, out of New Mexico. Those should have all shipped directly to your addresses that you all provided for all our state champion and shooter of the year winners. So you can expect to see those in your mailbox. If you would, drop me a line, let me know that they made it there. We're still working on sending all of our plaques out. So if you get your buckle and your plaque, we'd love to have a picture of you with them. If you got one of your, the giant checks from state, send us a picture of all those. We're going to try to put those on the website. Try to get those out to everybody. Not sure where our guests are, but if you want anything in Oklahoma for state champion or shooter of the year, and you would like to, be on our social media, our Facebook, our Instagram, our website, drop us a picture when your buckle and plaque get there. Some people picked up their plaques on Sunday, and then they didn't have the name plates with your name and the score and everything on there. So we'll get those out to you. If it's anything that you'd like to, we want to be as proud of you as you are for winning. So we want to do everything we can to, give our winners a round of applause. Let's see if they're back. Connect their mic or cam. The technical difficulties of podcasting on the go. Appreciate the Steeley family being our weekly guest. I know they've shot a whole lot of different archery, so before deer season gets on, I wanted to have them on. Let's see if they're back. Let's see. It's loading. Bear with us. Nothing like dead time on the air. This is everyone's biggest fear on how to broadcast. Doing everything we can. But yeah, everybody go support your local indoor ranges. If you're not in the deer hunting woods, I know they'd love to see you come shoot one of their leagues. We got a lot of leagues that are going to be starting up on all the different, some of them are jackpot night, which you don't have to be there every week. Some of them are, 6, 8, 10, 12-week leagues. So if you're not hunting deer, go ahead and get in there and dust off the indoor bow early. I know it's, just halfway through September right now. Public service announcement. It's the 18th right now. We're less than 2 weeks from deer season. Everybody get your safety harnesses. Get your safety lines up now. If you're going to be off the ground, please be hooked into something. That's the biggest thing. We never want to hear, somebody's taking a fall out of a tree stand, or, we want you to survive till indoor and 3D season. We want to see you back there on the tournament trail. So, safety lines, safety harnesses. I know everybody's, infatuated with the saddle setups now. And my biggest thing about them is that you're strapped into the tree the whole time. So I think that's let's try it here. Let's try one more time.
He still froze.
I got you back. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yes, you're
Yes,
good.
we can hear you.
So while you were gone, we were busy bragging about you going to Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Texas, and Coleman, and kind of running the gamut there. Came away for. Did you go to all the pro-ams this year?
No, I missed Foley. I missed the first one, and then went to Benning. Went to Benning, then Minden, and was planning on going to Kentucky, but unfortunately that got canceled. That was bad tornado. And then went to Metropolis, which got canceled as well. And
The second day.
Yeah, it got canceled on the second day. But got canceled on Saturday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I shot on Fridays.
Yeah.
I was going to do Friday, Saturday. So it was going to be my second day. And that caused a little.
That was all confusing. That was confusing.
That was very confusing. And then went to Coleman.
Yep. So what were your finishes on each one of those?
That's a good question. That is a really good
You mean
question.
score or placing?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say either one. Placing. I know a lot of time spent on the podium, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Benning, I finished third. Minden first. And then Metropolis doesn't really count since not everybody got to shoot their full round or half a round even.
But you got the money for it.
That is true. I finished first for those that did shoot on Friday. I finished first at Metropolis, and then first for the Classic Entry of the Year.
So once you got the new dart, and it was bad news for everybody else, basically.
Who would you say?
Once you got the new dart, and it was bad news for everybody else.
Yeah, darting. I shot darting all year. So, but yes, the good or the. I'm proud of the scores I got with the new dart. I'm trying to say that as
But your scores weren't much different with the mentoree, was it? Whenever you guys looked at your from Benning to the other one, it was like the same
from Minden.
From Minden to
Benning was not that great.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Minden
from Minden to the other one.
From Minden
was the same.
It wasn't that big of a difference, but I do feel more comfortable with the Exodus Pro. The draw cycle.
I tried to tell you in like March at the gun club, I was looking at that mentor you were shooting. I didn't know if it was an emergence or the mentor or which one it was. You're like, what are you looking at my bow for? I was like, I'm just trying to figure out why you're not shooting that short draw Exodus. I was like, well, maybe one day.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you and Scott Hamlin for setting me up. I greatly appreciate it.
Scott's a great resource to have. I know he's off in the elk hunting mountains right now, but shout out to Scott Hamlin for always, believing in people and putting the best equipment possible in their hands. And those mentors, I mean, they've got the last couple of years, they've put out a couple of really good kids or youth model bows. I know they're supposed to be dropping a new one this year. They didn't have one this last year. Between the time they had the emergence, they discontinued it, but they are coming out with a new one for 2026 is what I'm told. So I'm hoping that's another one that we can, you've got to find a bow for people while they're still growing. Like it's got to be adjustable and it's got to fit them. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I remember back when I was probably 12 or 13 and we would just short string them and didn't really know what the draw length or the poundage was going to come out to look like. It's like, well, sometimes you're way back here past your ear and you're trying to find that peep sight somehow. And it's like, that's been the best thing about technological advances is that some of these bows can actually, you can shoot them for a few years as you grow up with them, because changing bows year after year is a tedious task. I mean, it's hard to do. Yeah. It's tricky finding one that fits. So before we get off here, what would be the biggest piece of advice that you would give to somebody if there's anybody out there, especially the ladies who haven't tried archery yet? What would you tell them is the best reason to come out and give it a try?
It's fun. Memories, yes. It's a lot of fun getting to meet new people all the time. And the shooting part, it's enjoyable as long as it's not miserably hot. So I would choose a cooler one to go to for your first shoot, but it's a lot of fun.
I would say the memories. I mean, I've have several great memories from archery competitions and just experiences I would never have got to have without archery. But
And for somebody that's looking into getting into archery, especially for ladies, unfortunately, you're probably not going to like this, but most bow shops are like car salesmen. They want to move what is on the shelf, and they're going to tell you and sell you whatever they need to get that out the door. And so when we were traveling and teaching a lot of classes, one of Nolan's phrases that he used that I thought was very spot on was, we were trying to educate and to develop people into being repeat consumers rather than one-time consumers. So we want ladies to go, and not just ladies, guys too, but we were teaching classes mainly to women, but to go out and shop and shoot as many bows as you can get your hands on, ask questions, ask the same question to other people. Don't just, take one person's word for it, because we want them to be repeat consumers. So many times ladies would come to our classes and say that they had already shot a bow and it didn't fit them and they didn't like it, or they could not shoot a bow, or whatever the reason may be. But sometimes they weren't fit properly. And so not everywhere is like that, but the majority, I done a lot of, I guess they call it cold calling, or I would just walk in a shop and not lie, but don't say that I know anything at all about archery, and just kind of see what happens. And it's actually very sad at what they tried to put in my hands and what they would say and tell me and try to move off their shelf. So if you're a bow shop owner, or if you work in an archery shop, please don't be like that. We want these ladies to come back and enjoy what they do. And we want it to be a family sport that they can grow with their kids and with their family, and to share their passion. So don't be afraid to get out there. I know, even being in archery for a while, and I mean, the more you learn, the less you know type thing. There's, always something to learn, but I would always ask questions, and I still ask questions when I go in and to shop. And I don't know, I think it's just something that you can't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and ask questions and try to learn to grow as an individual in the sport.
That makes a lot of sense when you actually have ownership in, why do I like this bow? Well, the let off agrees with me, or I really like the way it draws, or I know that I can shoot it at 40 pounds while I'm, getting used to it. And if I want to crank it up to 50 and deer hunt with it, it'll work too. So it helps you be an educated consumer is what I.
Exactly.
Yeah, just ask questions. Can I hunt with this? Can I target shoot with this? Do I need to buy two? Do you even have two? If I blow the limbs off of it, do they make limbs for this model anymore? Is it discontinued? Can I find, cams and parts for it? Or is the company even still around? All kind of questions like that. But I think that's a great take for somebody that might not be, in the know. How do you break the ice with an archery shop? Because anybody can get a Lancaster catalog. You can open it up and not know what to order, and it doesn't help you. So I think the shops have a really big responsibility.
Huge responsibility to them to educate and to be there, because so much stuff has, so many shops have closed because of everything going online. But just like you said, you can open up a catalog, but you don't really have someone to talk to and to help you and get that personal.
And the feel of the bow is such a big thing. And like the grit, there on some of my grips, I've actually had my father, my dad, he's redone grips for me, but I feel like you need to have that in your hands for a bow.
Or like guys would say, what bow do I need to order for my wife? Or what, write down everything that I need to order and I'll get it for my girlfriend for Valentine's. Please do not do that. If you are going to buy your wife or your girlfriend or your kid, whoever it is, if you are going to purchase them archery stuff, do not go buy it for them. Take them shopping. Let that be part of the experience, and shop. Shoot as much as you can. I mean, we would drive all over the place. We would just look up a bow, figure out the specs, figure out what I wanted. Nolan made out a chart, and we just took off and would take a road trip, because it's hard to find, especially for lefties, bows for them to be able to shoot. Or for me, at a short draw and the poundage that I was looking at, I mean, it's kind of difficult. Martin, years back, they actually couldn't find the bow I wanted to try. So Nolan just called Martin and said, hey, this is the bow that my wife wants to try. Where can I find one? And they didn't have one within driving distance. So they just mailed me one. And they said, here, try it. See what you think. And I kept it. But I thought it was really neat that I didn't have to.
Bought it.
Yes, I bought it. I mean, I didn't send it back.
Shout out to Martin. They know. I mean, they know. They've seen sales orders, and if the closest one's Kalamazoo, Mississippi, and it's like, okay, well, that's 11 hours away. I really wanted to shoot one. I don't know if I want to shoot one that bad. It's like, how do you try it? And like you said, left-handed, short draw. It's tricky. It is hard on bow shops to try to order stuff like that because you never know if it's going to sell. And you buy it for $800, and 2 years later it's sitting there on sale for $400 and still not moving. So it's a big risk, but at least take the time to walk them through the options, let them know what's out there. It's like, okay, well, this one comes in a 75% and an 85% let off, or whatever the case may be. But I think that's part of the, a little bit more growing technology. But honestly, these bow companies, they can't do the marketing to say, to get out in front of every single person that might be, left-handed and 25-inch draw. It's a very special, it's a very specialty style bow. So it's a big challenge, I think everybody needs to rise to the occasion on that.
Yeah. And like Mom said, me and Shannon are both left-handed. And you go somewhere looking for bows to try and shoot, and they have a lot, and maybe even the kind that you're wanting, but they're right-handed most of the time. And so you have to do quite a bit of searching to find the kind that you want to try in the right with left hands.
That's something I really like about my Exodus Pro is I have the short draw version, is because it's an actual adult bow. It's not nothing's wrong with used bows, obviously, but like I'm more older now, more mature, almost an adult. And so my face shape and everything and the way I draw and how I hold is more adult-like. And so it doesn't fit the short axle of youth bows. And so whenever Darton came out, or whenever you convinced me to finally try something new, I was very glad I did, because it fit me better and is an actual adult bow that had longer axle to axle, and it fit me best.
Yeah.
That is one of the best things about hanging out with Scott Nolan. Everything he has 25-inch draw length. So
because it's hard, because whenever I first started looking for a new compound, you walk into a shop and they just take me straight to the kids' bows, to the youth bows. And while those have a lot of possibilities and a lot of potential, and like you said, you can buy a kid a bow and it'll grow with them. It's not a huge investment that you have to turn around and, buy new cams or a whole new bow, the next year or in a few months, whenever you have a preteen that's growing so fast. But being able to find a bow for a lady that is not a kid's bow is sometimes it's a difficult challenge. That's why anybody that wants to shoot my bow, they can. We have so many bows hanging up at the house that none of us shoot, but I really don't part with them, because there's a chance that we might come across somebody that wants to try archery, and we're like, well, hey, this has this kind of grip, or this has this kind of grip. We have to give the different styles, and some have solid back wall, some don't. Just all the different options. Not all the different options, some different options. That way they know that there's more than one thing out there to go try.
I've got that closet at home as well. It's like, well, I'm never going to use anything in here again, but maybe someone someday will. So we'll just keep hanging on to it.
It sparks a fire in some people, and then they can go and grow from there.
That is the biggest goal. Is there anybody you want to shout out, sponsors, friends, family, before we hop off here? Anybody that's helped you along the way you want to, send a thank you to?
You go first. There's two people that really have been the biggest help are my parents. My mom and dad are both amazing coaches and have helped both of us a lot. But everything that I shoot, I love everything I shoot. My sight, Black Gold, they're great, and Hamsky, they're really good. I like my equipment.
Well, I've met several new people this year that helped me and gave me different advice. I can't get his name right. Both of his name, Travis Keith, is that the correct way? Or is it Keith Travis?
It's Travis
They're both
Keith.
first names,
Yeah.
and I get them mixed up all the time.
Travis Keith.
Travis Keith, he's gave me so much advice and encouragement and like different ideas that I'm planning on doing in the future. I haven't got to it yet, but I will. Travis Keith, Jaden Reed, a girl from Minnesota, I believe. I'm going to see her this weekend. Super excited to meet her. She's she shoots tripsticks. She shoots long stabilizer open, but I met her on the ASA tour for nationals, and she's just so fun to be around and encouraging. An amazing teenager, the sweetest teenager I've ever met. But Darton Archery and Scott Hamlin and you for getting me set up with his bow. I greatly appreciate it. That's my main ones.
Yeah. Mine would definitely be my husband Nolan and their dad, because without him, we would not be here doing this at all. I enjoyed shooting as a kid with my grandpa in the backyard, and I wanted to hunt when it was not freezing cold. And that's how I got into hunting with the bow, because I love to hunt, but I'm also very cold natured. And so I wanted to hunt before rifle season. So I got me a bow so I could do that. But if it wasn't for Nolan, we would not be in the competitive field at all. And he's always been very encouraging. For whenever I decided, I got asked to teach a couple classes, and then it just kind of grew from there. And then we were traveling and teaching, and then I got certified through USA Archery, and then I went and got certified with my level 3 in Texas. And then I got an opportunity to go to California and get my level 4 at the USA Olympic Training Center out in Chula Vista. And so he has just really supported us and pushed me to maybe through some of those doors that I might not have went through if I wouldn't have had that support and that encouragement. So, and we're definitely not, I mean, we have like Black Gold. They've always been great to our whole family. And we do the sponsored shooter sites, staff shooter through a shop. I don't know exactly what it's called. Oh, sorry, I stepped on the dog. Through them. But as far as brand name people, we're really not. I shoot whatever feels good. Yeah. And same thing with releases. But Wagner Archery, Roger Hayes, and
yes.
The guy that Tom, they have been great to us to, yes.
Rooster.
We've been shot there at Wagner a lot. Yeah, and Rooster, he's there too. But Tom and Roger have always been great to, for us shooting there at Wagner.
And the grandfather.
Yeah, very supportive of the girls ever since they were little. And we're actually members of the Tulsa Archery Club. We don't get to go there very often, but that's where we do our family indoor shoot is over there. They have a great program for families. I can't remember the exact price, but it's very affordable. You can get unlimited access to their outdoor range and their indoor range. And so we get to, it is a drive and we don't go over very often, but it is nice to have that availability to go and practice over there. But I guess that's it. Yeah, we're just blessed.
Well, thank you all for sitting down with us, and good luck this weekend. We'll be looking forward to an update after all the scores are tallied up, and y'all have fun up there and get home safe.
Yeah, I don't know that this is going to be a record-setting year for them with this win that we're looking at out here, but they both. I don't know if you know this or not, but when we came up here the first year, Shannon broke the record. And she was on A line, right, or B line, whichever one shoots first. That was Shannon. She got up there and broke. It was at the 900.
Yeah, 900.
She got up there and broke the 900 round record.
Shaylan steps up,
and then Shaylan steps up in the second line, and she broke Shannon's record. And so we've got you've got
6
national records, and she's got 3.
I don't remember.
So, anyways, yeah, but I don't. This year they were competing against each other that year, and now they've been in opposite classes up until now. And this year we're back in the same class. So tomorrow they're going to be going 7, and 3. So they're going to be going head to head again tomorrow, and no Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
So we'll see.
Practice tomorrow.
we'll see where that falls at.
So it's the old family grudge match.
Yes.
Right now. And so after you both age out of young adult, you'll have years and years to compete in the adult class together. But for right now, it's going to be coming down to the young adult class.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, good luck to everybody up there. Tell them all we said hi. I know you all represent Oklahoma well. Thank you again for spending some time with us. Sorry we didn't have better internet connection, but we did the best we could.
It is what it is sometimes.
Thank you for having us.
Not a problem. Y'all be good.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.